As a career counselor, many students come to me unsure of what to do. They are told that they need to create their future, but some don't even know what that looks like. I recently asked our students whether they knew what they wanted to be when they grew up, if they know what they want to study, and where they want to study in university. A survey of 193 students showed this. It showed that more than 5 out of 10 students are unsure of what their plans are for the future. We are bombarded with the message of setting smart goals and planning for the future, but I think we're missing an important question. How do I know what I want? Now, every day we need to make decisions, right? What to eat in the morning, what to wear, and it can be hard to make them when you're unsure. Big decisions like university, career, and even family, those big decisions that shape your life are difficult to make. But I believe that learning to sit with this unsureness is the first step to understanding what you want. And frankly, along the way, well, you're gonna make some bad decisions. Ugh, scary, right? Now, I have many experiences making bad decisions, and I'm sure you do too. One time, the day before a hike in the forest, I ate too much sambal. And you can imagine what came next. When I was in college, I changed my major twice, and I hung out with people who didn't treat me like a friend. But the worst mistake that I made was deciding to hate myself whenever I messed up. I adopted the wrong mindset. Let me tell you of a story when I was in university. Now, going to school in America was like a dream come true to me. It was such a huge opportunity that I had to make the most of it. I felt like I must succeed. I must thrive. At that time, my definition of success meant that I need to have good grades, I need to be active in all of the clubs and make so many friends, and basically I wanted to do it all. I couldn't afford to make a mistake. Of course, life wasn't easy. It wasn't that simple. Adapting to a new environment, a new culture, and meeting the rigorous academic demands of my institution. Also dealing with a global pandemic alone in a foreign country. Every time I fell short of my own expectations, I would beat myself up. These were some of the things that I said to myself. And you know what? I would never say this to anyone. Before I knew it, I became my own worst enemy. Imagine if you were struggling through something and somebody told you these things. Would it help you get over your struggles? Absolutely not. It would make you feel like even more of a failure. And that's what I did to myself. Now, these negative self-talks lowered my self-esteem, increased my anxiety, and I couldn't trust myself to make a decision because I was just so scared of failing. Now, desperate for a change, I sought for help at the University Counseling Center. I was depressed. And talking to the therapist helped me be mindful of my struggles and really examine the relationship that I had with myself. My bad decision was thinking that all of my struggles were my fault, while in reality, some were just out of my control. But if it weren't for that bad decision, I wouldn't have gone to the counseling center in the first place, and I wouldn't have learned about self-compassion. Learning to treat yourself in moments of failure as you treat your best friend or loved ones. Now, applying this in my life helped me understand that as a human, I will make mistakes and I will fail. No longer do I feel compelled to strive for perfection that never existed in the first place. I felt happier, my anxiety was reduced, and also I could now overcome my challenges. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I made a decision to stay in America, even if it meant being away from my family. Despite the challenges, I graduated early with 2 majors. I went through a big surgery and made a lifelong friend. These are now my own definition of thriving. But remember, I wouldn't have gotten there if I made a bad turn first. Making bad decisions actually helped me learn how to make good ones. So, let's move on to a practical application of my story. We've learned that being fearful of bad decisions can lead us to make no decision at all, to become decision avoidant. Now, why is that? It's easier to let someone else choose for you. Like, say, it's easier to let your parents decide what career you should take, or follow what society thinks is cool, and just follow your friends and take the classes that they take. It's easy because whenever these choices fail, you have someone else to blame other than yourself. But if you give someone else the power to choose for you, then how are you going to create the future that you want? Let's think about that for a moment. So when students come to me asking what major they should take, where they should go for university, and whether they should take the full DP or not, I remind them that I don't have all the answers. In fact, your teachers, experts, and even your parents don't either. While that sounds really scary, the good news is you always have the power to choose, the power to act and decide for yourself. Embracing good decisions and bad decisions are so important on our journey to thrive. So, make decisions, good ones and bad ones. Remember that your dreams cannot be realized by following someone else's path. Take ownership of your successes and your failures, for they are the building blocks of the future that you envision. Stay rooted in self-compassion, knowing that mistakes are inevitable and they only bring you closer to self-discovery. So, I'd like to ask, what will you decide today? Thank you.